Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this NZSR race coming to you live from Monza on what is a shorter Thursday night for us tonight. We've only got an hour of hosting to bring you. We are going to chuck some other stuff up on the stream later on tonight, though, just to keep you entertained. As we head into round 5, as usual, I am joined here by my partner in crime, Scotty. Welcome, Scotty, to the broadcast, otherwise known as... well, we're going to call it the Tom Corbett Show.
Tom Corbett Thursdays!
Tom Corbett Thursdays. We've got a huge grid tonight. I reckon there's 40 cars in here. I haven't even got a count on it yet.
Whoa! There was a car coming out of the Lesmos there in the background and barreling into the corner off the track. Not sure who that was, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is practice only at this point in time. We haven't actually moved on to the qualifying session as it stands. But welcome to what is colloquially known as the Temple of Speed. Why is that? Well, it's Ferrari's home track from Formula One. They absolutely love it here, and if you are part of the Tifosi, or even if you're not part of the Tifosi, you can always see a wall of red. The Temple of Speed is probably one of the most popular tracks in any of the Formula One games if you do find yourself racing online. Why is that? Well, you get to put your foot to the floor for a large part of the lap. There's overtaking opportunities at nearly every corner, with the exception of the middle chicane, which is the one that we're coming up to right now as we follow along with Graham Smythe. I'll come up here underneath the bridge, bank it to the left. It's not really an overtaking opportunity. Now, I can tell you for a fact, slipstreaming is going to be the name of the game tonight. Fuel saving, get yourself underneath the rear wing of that car ahead of you, and set your qualifying lap in as a part of a chain. Find somebody who's similar pace for you. You punch the hole in the air the first lap. They do it for you on the second lap. Maybe have an off lap in the middle. So first lap's one driver, second lap an off lap, reset. Both of you go again, and then third lap, somebody else will take the lead. That should be the strategy that you should see employed during tonight's qualifying session.
And you're quite right about that middle chicane, although I have seen it done in our AE series. We ran our second ever race at this track, and I can tell you that a Porsche can do it around the outside at that chicane, but it is very unusual to see. The timing monitor across the top of the screen at the moment is just struggling a little bit as we get through the 40 cars. It is all working. You can see the clock counting down, but I kid you not, I think we've got a field of 40 cars on track for this one tonight. So it's just trying to do the old and get through the calculation to try and work out where everyone's at the moment. I can see that the Tom the Tank Corbett fan club has already well and truly lit up the chat here. Thank you guys for joining us. We did promise you a little Tom Corbett Titanic-style love story out of last week's race. And I can let you on a little bit of a secret that I had re-recorded last week's race.
Oh, here we go.
Because we do need to convert the file type, because for some reason iRacing use a file type that no one else uses for their replays. So we actually have to re-record the entire race, and we're doing that proactive tonight. I'm actually recording while we stream. So we will have a lot more of an idea that of what's going on, and yeah, we're going to bring it home. We're going to bring it home. We're going to have the Corbett love affair brought to you in some sort of amusing fashion. You can see there as well, we've got our new like the page emojis coming up on the screen. We love retro gaming here at FGM ECast, so we've got our little retro gaming dude on the screen there. So if you are watching, wherever you're watching from, give us a like, give it a share, tag your mum, tag your mum's best mate, and let's get this thing a-pumping tonight, as the drivers have certainly done their part with, as I said, a whopping field of 40 cars on the grid so far tonight. I can't even fit them all on the screen. It won't let me go down that far. So what have we got here in terms of my love for McLarens? We've got one McLaren, a new driver, Leaf Jason King, is the only McLaren on the race. How has that happened? How have we blown out to 40 cars and there's only one McLaren? I do have a soft spot for the Audi though as well, so maybe I'll switch.
Well, if there's ever a track to
very wide
somebody
there.
barreling off in was that a black BMW? It could have even been Corbett actually, because he gets around in a black BMW. He's currently 8th on the time shots.
He is he's a trackside switcher. He was in a Ferrari last week, and this week he's in a
He
Mercedes.
was too. That's right. Sorry.
And I do just want to highlight. I don't know any other series that allows you to change cars during the season.
Well, look, it's, you know,
so maybe last week
that you don't have to do.
Maybe last week he picked the wrong car, and that's why he didn't finish on foot. I rewatched the replay today, and we understated how big his accident was at the start of the race. He actually flipped over the fence into the infield, and albeit landed on all 4 wheels, couldn't drive his car back to the pit lane because he literally couldn't get back onto the track. So
I'm still yet to see a comment in the chat that doesn't support Tom Corbett.
Yeah, absolutely. Hashtag get Corbett on the screen. He's on the screen. What screen are you watching? He's on the screen. We're already there. So but we're going to definitely going to bring a whole heap of new stuff to you tonight as well. We've got tons of new drivers in the series. This is fantastic to see that we've got a massive amount of new drivers into this category. These guys do a really good job. It's always good competitive racing, and yeah, I'm pumped to see 40 cars here, particularly on this track as well. It's going to be really interesting. As you say, drafting really important. Is a compulsory pit stop tonight for these guys. They've got 1 fast repair, so if Corbett does flip his way off somehow down into the foothills of whatever part of Italy this is in, then I just had a mental blank there. If he does manage to flip himself off into the foothills, then he'll be able to repair his car. So one fast repair, 1 compulsory pit stop. We've got a slightly different format tonight to what we're used to with these guys. It's just a flat 30-minute race, so no short race followed by a longer race tonight. Albeit we have that coming up next weekend. And I did notice on the schedule something really interesting, Scotty, which is that our last race next week is a reverse grid race.
Oh, yes, please.
So there could be the sort of carnage that we haven't seen since Jason took on Elm Street. So, you know, be interesting to see.
Well, I tell you what, if there's one driver in the field that has already shown...
What is that we've just jumped onto?
That's drivers enjoying the end of practice. That's what that is.
There was a car that flew across in front of the camera there. I have no idea who that was. I think it was... Let's see if we can bring that back. I was going to say it wouldn't be... it'd be ironic if it was Elliot Osborne, given that the car was airborne. That's not that one there. I think it might have been this one here.
Who cares? They're having fun. I'm having fun. Are you having fun?
Absolutely. So we'll just... wow, how quick has he gone into pit lane? What is that? He actually wouldn't have finished the race had that been the last lap. He didn't cross the start-finish line. Wow, craziness. All right. So that does bring us pretty much to the end of practice. All the drivers in pit lane now. Sorry for the noise with that. We've got 5 minutes to go here in practice. These guys, crazy.
They're just currently doing drivers briefings. That's why there's actually no action on track. Full stop.
Damn, I wish I had got that video together so we could have looked at the highlights package from last week. Damn. Anyway, let's move on. Some interesting things happening in the iRacing world. We've had a whole heap of free content released this week, which has generally, to be brutally frank, annoyed a number of people because they bought the content before iRacing decided to release it for free. Show us some Ryan Wood. We certainly will, Josh Richmond, and particularly because you're the first person not to mention Corbett. So Ryan Wood will get some extended coverage here. He's currently our second fastest man on the track in a, no surprises, a BMW. So iRacing releasing a heap of free content. We've got the LMP2 car coming out, I believe, in the release that is being put through tonight. So,
is that tonight?
I think it is tonight. I had a suspicion they generally do Thursday nights because we always get a question or two from our drivers in the AEE wondering whether or not the race will cut off because of the update. But we're always concluded before that. So anyway, that coming soon. That's going to be exciting. I think we're going to put together a series around the LMP2. Thank you very much for the like there, Daniel Heddershid. We appreciate that. And what else did we see during the week? I can't remember anything else. What's Marco's last name? FGM. Marco's last name? You mean the one that just liked the stream? Question mark? Question mark? Tom Corbett Thursdays. Was it Hettersheet? If you're talking about Market, the guy that, yeah. So I'm pretty sure it was Hettersheet. He sounds like he's the Germans or the Austrians. 50 stars. Well, I must have got the pronunciation pretty close there. Thank you very much. Oh no, Aaron Johnson, our man who joined our stream last night, the Anscar Oval Track stream, and was just on the hunt for some Corbett action. You know what we need to do? We need to get a signed photo of Tom Corbett and put it up onto the stream. Raise some money for charity. And have a Tom Corbett auction off for a photo. You know what we are going to do tonight? We are going to get him to join us in the Combox uninterrupted, because we don't have to rush off tonight to do the AEE stream straight after this one. So be prepared. Stick around for the end of the stream where, you know, hopefully we've got a podium as the cause for the interview. Tom Corbett. I'm not sure he'd want to be Prime Minister right at this moment. It's not the easiest job. I know you don't even know Corbett, but you've got some affiliation with him. So thanks for the stars, Aaron. Really appreciate it, mate. We love the star here. You can see our retro John Travolta there just rocking out for you.
I'll tell you what, I just looked through the announcement post again. Oran Park moving to free content. Does that mean we get to race at Oran Park more often? Do the Mazda MX-5s go to Oran Park? Because that would be amazing.
There's just an absolute catastrophe unraveling in front of us here.
Oh, the liveries are finally loaded. Trading Paints was just was not happy, and all I was seeing was Tom Corbett race around the track in a black Mercedes.
I love that primer base color as a color for a car. I reckon it looks really good.
Puce.
Is that what it's called?
Something it's similar to Puce. I don't think that's Puce.
We just call it primer.
Oh.
We just call
it's
it
gross. It's actually
base.
making me slightly
really?
queasy.
Oh, no,
just
I love
looking at it.
I love it. I love it. Tonster, Tonster, the Sesh Gremlin. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Do we want to hear some track stats about Monza this evening?
Roll it out.
It is near the city of Monza, obviously where the track name comes from, north of Milan, within Italy. Built in 1922, it is the world's third purpose-built motor racing circuit after Brooklands and Indianapolis. There you go. A racing circuit was built in America before Europe. Circuit's biggest event, obviously the Formula Ones, except for in 1980, the race has been hosted there since the series' inception. So, Monaco is not the only track that's missing some racing in the last 70-odd or so years. So there's actually 3 separate individual tracks here at the Monza location. There is the full 5.793 kilometer Grand Prix track, the 2.4 kilometer junior track, which instead of going down to the chicane sort of turns right not too long after the end of the pit wall, and a banked oval track. Now that thing is an absolute monster. If you ever want something fun to do, within any racing platform, whether that be iRacing or Project Cars, you name it, right out there, get onto the Monza high banked oval, grab the fastest car in the game, and see how high you can get yourself up to, because the bankings are so steep. If you run towards the top of the bankings, you can actually maintain pretty much the highest speed possible.
Now,
it's awesome.
Where did you get that information from, may I ask?
I'm just pulling it from Wikipedia, but
I now question whether or not the information on there is accurate. I cannot believe that Indianapolis existed before a racetrack in Europe.
Well, I'm going to have to look it up now.
I just can't believe it. Last night, Aaron, Scotty got a flat time, mate. Right on the last lap, unfortunately, as 3...
No, I got one with about 30 laps to go.
I was at 30 laps to go. A couple of our other drivers also got a flat tire on the end of the race there, so no good at all. But Scotty participates in that series. I wish I could run in that series. If we could find someone else to commentate it, I most definitely would. Those cars are off the
Drivers over you.
Yeah. Nah. Like you're either commentating or you're not. I mean, I couldn't have kept up with all of Aaron's comments last night if I was trying to drive and commentate at the same time. So.
Okay. The Brickyard was built in 1909.
Yeah. You are, Aaron. You are. You're our number one fan, mate. We need fan badges, I think. I don't know. I hear.
That's also coming from Wikipedia.
I was going to say, I hear you, but I just don't believe it. I just can't believe that it was the first racetrack around. Like, you can't tell me that Fangio first raced in, like, over there. Like, there must have been a track in Europe. Anyway, we're
Probably not.
into
But given that it
qualifying.
was 1922, when was Fangio racing? It was like 30s or 40s, wasn't it? That Fangio was racing. I don't think it was the 20s because the Formula One didn't start until like the. Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I don't know. I just don't believe it. It just doesn't sound right. I can't believe that the Americans invented car racing. It just doesn't work for me. So let's move on. Anyhow, we're right into qualifying here. We do have lone track qualifying, so 10 minutes. By lone track, for those who are new to it, literally as it is. So each driver, they all qualify at the same time, but they're all qualifying on their own track. So kind of like the top 10 shootout if you do watch the V8 supercars. But we've got, obviously we're at Monza, and you've got the track to yourself. So we're going to keep an eye out for, and I'll bring it up on the screen here. My apologies, I was distracted by the information surrounding what goes on at the first racetrack in the world. We're going to bring it up here, the qualifying mode. So at the bottom of the table there, you're looking for purple sectors. We're playing the Purple People Leader game and looking for purple sectors down the bottom there. And that's what we're looking for. We've got the coverage set to look for the drivers doing the fastest laps. And I've also brought up on the right-hand side of the screen there just the information while we were talking about the track of the current set of conditions at the track. 45 degrees on-track temperature. Whopping expected for Monza, but very high indeed. So drivers will struggle for, and we'll hold you to that, Kieran, so thank you very much for putting it out on the internet. The drivers will struggle a little bit with excessive tyre pressure here with that 45 degree temperature. So look for some drop off in lap time, probably around lap 3 or 4, as we do just see Paul Blomqvist, my apologies, running wide there. Paul is an incredibly quick driver. It's the first time I've seen him running in this series. So look out for things from him. A few other drivers to highlight as well. We've got Dylan De Bono running tonight for the first time in our coverage. Xavier Simmons as well. 1,000 stars. Wow. We're easily purchased. 1,000 stars. Oh, look at that sort of currency. Who else we got? Caleb Bowcroft joining us as well. We've got Taylor Bryant looking up the track here as well. Christian Hermansen was running last week as well. So there's plenty of new drivers here for us to cover for you. The other thing that we haven't spoken about yet is the points table, as Zane Hill goes fastest with a 49.05 in his BMW. I'll just grab those standings.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Sanford and Hills separated by 0.04 of a second. That's how close it is.
And Sanford is currently the leader of this series. He is out in front on points, so got to have a look at that. They gave us a link to a new site for that one, so I'll just bring that up in front of me now and we'll do a quick rundown on that. So we've got Sanford in front of Cleland, and Calix Poon is third in this one. Tom Corbett, the man of the hour, fourth. Scotty Hasler in fifth, Xavier Simmons sixth, Caleb Curry seventh, Stefan Tiers eighth, with S. Patterson in ninth, and Elliot Osborne rounding out our top 10. So Dave Sanford, 3 wins from the 4 race starts, so he is definitely the man to challenge at the top of the table as we continue to get through that one. Post-race interview for Corbett. Josh, you'll have to hang around, mate, to find out whether or not there is a post-race interview with your man, Tom Corbett. We will see what we can do, but I'd suggest hang around till the end.
Just having a quick look. Zane's on another flyer, but I don't think he's going to be quick enough to go fastest. His sectors aren't all that pretty at the moment. I think he might have actually just ended up calling it. Yeah,
he's pulled it in. So we'll keep on line here with Dave Sanford as he goes around to complete his lap. And what's he done there? A 149. No, 149.12, just slightly slower.
Yeah, but he went faster in his first sector. Ryan T. Woods just come through, did the fastest second sector so far. and he's managed to throw it up into second place. And I'm not seeing a lot of purple out in the mix, but there are drivers that are still going green, which means they're setting their own personal bests.
Yeah, so we'll jump on board here with Taylor Cockerton, who is exactly one of those drivers. He's gone green in Sector 3 and doing a great job. Thanks very much for the like there, Paris Jane. We appreciate you tuning in. Ian Bevan right behind him as well. Still out on a lap. No, he's pulled that one as well. So we're just sticking here with Taylor Cockerton. Everyone else seems to have put the cue in the rack to keep the powder dry. And a couple of drivers, Stuart Patterson hasn't set a lap yet. We'll jump on board with him as Taylor doesn't manage to improve his lap time. He's run wide there. John Boswell in what looks like Shell Helix liveried. It is indeed Mercedes there, so we'll stick on board with him. He's done 2 green sectors consecutively, but it is his first lap out. Runs a little wide there, may have got an off track for that as well. The indicator showing me that he has this lap, may not count. We'll just see if it comes up on the timing chart there.
He's only got 45 seconds, so we won't have enough time to do another lap either.
So if this does not count, he will not post a time. We'll start towards the back of the grid. We don't really have anyone else far enough around the track. Harry Edwards, actually, one of those drivers who is far enough around to complete a time. His last time around, 1:52 flat. Is he going to improve on that? I would say so. As he comes across the line, and what's he done there? Had no updates.
152. 152 that time by, but his previous best was a 151.9. Oh, okay. So that was the 152.
Yeah, 152 flat. So he will have time to finish another lap if he wants to do so. Kevin Davey there, unfortunately, parked on the straight. That's not going to help him go any faster as Mike Sparrow comes through and does not decide to complete his lap. So he's sitting there with a 159.6. We are literally giving you the results of the drivers who are in positions 37 through 42. Yes, you heard me right. There are 42 cars on the grid for tonight.
One of the best parts about Monza is that straights, everything is wide enough that you can fit as many cars as you really want on this track. About the only time it's ever really going to be a problem is heading down into the first corner, and I can pretty much guarantee that there would have been a conversation during the drivers' meeting that take it easy into the Retafilio on the first lap, get yourselves sorted, get yourselves through there, break it up a little bit, and go on from there. So to sort of walk you through a lap, corner 1 and 2 is the Variante del Retafilio, commonly known as the Retafilio. You come out of there into turn number 3, the big sweeping right-hander before you head down underneath the bridge, known as Curva Grande. That takes you from there into the Variante della Roggia, so the Roggia chicane, followed by the Curva de Lesmos, which are the double right-hand complex all the way at the top of the boot. From there, you'll come down the Curva del Seraglio. Not really a curve, but a corner of a straight. They call it Seraglio anyway. Followed by Ascari. 8, 9, and 10 is your left chicane, which sends you all the way down to the Parabolica. Hang a big right-hander there, and, well, that's it. That's your lap. Head it back on and past the start-finish line to start once more. So it is all about being able to get your car pointed, picking up the throttle, and get it out of there as fast as you possibly can on the exits, because there's so much straight line here that you can set up your overtakes. So it's about force somebody to go deep underneath the brakes. That means they're going to be slow the entire way down the straight. Or you just pull up your corner a little bit short, turn the car in, point it, shoot it, pick up a little bit of draft, and you're going to be the one that's going to be diving underneath them on the brakes. But then again, next straight after that, expect a fight back as they pick up the draft from you again. It's going to be... look, it's interesting racing because you're going to see a lot of position swapping as drivers pick up the draft. But as soon as the racing starts to spread out a little bit more, not as interesting.
So, albeit we do want to see, we're not going to have too much chance for this one not to get interesting with a field of 43 cars. So We're not going to get through the entire grid, I don't think, before we actually are due out to get this one started. You can see there the absolute wall of cars that are on this one. I'm going to jump to blimp view as it does bring us, unfortunately, round to that banking that you were talking about. They're not doing exactly what I wanted it to do, so that's a little bit unfortunate. We've got the top 10 drivers up on screen, and I was going to say I was having a look through the top drivers as you were just letting the drivers, the audience know, I should say, about how this track flows. And I can tell you that if you look through here, there are drivers with equal intervals. So there were drivers that had recorded exactly the same qualifying time on the track, and equally drivers for positions, say, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Don't quote me on that exactly, but there were drivers on multiple positions separated by less than 100th of a second for 3 or 4 positions in a row. So what I'm trying to indicate here to you all is that it's going to be extraordinarily tight in the mid-pack. So getting out, getting through, getting clean on this first lap is as important as it can be. We've got Hills from Wood, Sanford, our series leader, in 3rd, Curry, Cockenden, Bevan, Cleland, Hasler, Corbett, Anderson, Blomqvist, and Mitchell McLeod in 12th position, rounding out our top 12. We'll try and get through as many of these as we can. I'm just going to rattle them off. We've got Wood from Poon, Guptill, Bryant, Childs, Vu, Griffin, Donnelly, Osborne, Howell, Midgley, and Hermanson rounding out the top 24 positions. Then we keep going. We've got Smythe, Tears, Beecroft, Sparrow, James, Simmons, Pratt, Davey, DeBono, Edwards, Hatton, and King out to position 36. And as we get to the rear of the field, we've got Wilkins, Webber, Matheson, Patterson, Bullerman, and Boswell rounding out the 42 cars starting this race at Monza.
All right, so race control was just on the mic, just warning everyone, hey, take it easy when you're getting it down into the Retifilia. We've got, we do have those 42 cars. We've got to get through there before the race itself can actually start. So heads down, keep it cool, breathe, make sure that you leave enough room for everyone to get through there. Race control is going to be watching. We've asked our drivers to be respectful. Now let's follow through on that, yeah?
And already we can see here there's a big gap in the field, and this actually doesn't help at all, because what ends up happening is that the drivers race up behind the cars in front of them, then someone jumps on the brakes, someone's not paying attention because they're looking at their iPhone, and we end up with an accident on the formation lap. That is a huge, huge field of cars there. As,
race control, that's it's in iRacing terms, you can actually be reported for it for a sporting code violation, because in real life there's obviously limits to the gap between cars. Having said that, the cars themselves having to get through Ascari side by side, just sort of building up a little bit of respect and whatnot for each other. Maybe they were leaving that, so I can guarantee you race control will be keeping a close eye on that.
As the lights go red, we're waiting for them to go green as they go across the control line, and we are off and racing in this NZSR Series race at Monza. We'll stick with this view as we see this huge horde of cars head down into turn 1. We're hoping everyone can get through this chicane cleanly here. Actually, the driver's doing a good job there to file through. Sorry about the trees, there's nothing we can do about nature, but what we can do is get you back on board with Dave Sanford leading from Zane Hills with Ryan Woods right behind him as our front three. Look at the pressure being applied on the back of the Sanford BMW there as he ducks down to the inside, unfortunately not being able to defend that position, and he'll move into second place.
Yeah, that's just about it. It's going to be action everywhere on the opening lap. I can tell you that our events feed is absolutely full of incidents happening on the opening lap. So it's going to have to settle in, and where you'll settle in is anyone's sort of guess at this stage.
I've actually got here, I think there was an issue just with the timing overlay there. It indicated that every single driver on the track crashed, but clearly not an issue. But beyond that, we've actually had just a couple of drivers run off track. So really the field doing a good job there as we jump on the back of Zane Hills, having Dave Sanford all over him at the moment. Dave Sanford will be wanting to try and get on with the job and get clear as he tries to make a move here down the inside. Is he going to get it done? There you go. You can see Dave Sanford there getting on the inside, but Zane Hill's preferred line on this one, and he is going to retain that position and take us around, I think, as the leader for our first lap in this race. Look at him, too wide going around the last corner, cold tyres. That is fantastic driving
Shuffles him slightly to the outside of the Parabolica, gets the drive down, but now it's going to be Sanford that'll have the advantage. Filio. Hills decides that he wants to defend the inside line. They're diving and weaving in behind them as well as Crockerton and Wood goes side by side. So 2 by 2. It goes into the
we've
red.
got a Audi coming flying through the chicane there. Oh no! What has he done? He's just locked it up there. And that was Nathan Anderson who has come through and unfortunately collected Daniel Wood on his way through that gravel trap, completely ineffective. And it wouldn't be surprised if they throw out a yellow flag here just to let this tidy up. But we'll keep with it and see what they do as I bring up the timing monitor across the top of the screen here with Dave Sanford, as Scotty was calling, now out into the lead of this one.
Wow, right. Race control just didn't even blink. Didn't even blink. They've actually immediately removed Nathan Anderson from the server, so he was immediately booted out of the race. Unacceptable behaviour from a driver, so that will get you removed from the race straight away.
That's harsh. That's harsh.
It's fair.
It's harsh. Fair. Harsh. If he outbraked himself, cold tyres going into the second lap, I don't know. I'll have to have a look at it again before I comment. Camera is on Tom Jacob. Come on, mate. Keep up with the stream. We're on Tom.
It's Tommy's chain of cars. At least this time he's managed to get himself clear and through the first lap, so he's going to pick himself up 2 spots as well this time past. He's in 8th position. I tell you what, my sector times are telling me he's matching with Halish Cleland ahead and faster in the first sector, so it could be a move on if once he starts to build that pace back up again and goes for it.
Fastest man on the track at the moment is actually Zane Hills with a 1:50:11. Oh, as I say that, Dave Sanford makes me look like I don't know what I'm reading, as he does a 49:34 and gaps Zane Hills now out to a 2.5-second lead. That is a fantastic run for him. Tell you what, the guy's actually doing a really good job through this part of the track, as we've got another one through. And no, that is our man. That is our man, Tommy Corbett. No, again, last week taken out in the early part of the race, and this week again. So he's going to have to pit early and probably do repairs to that Mercedes.
I don't mind that, though. I don't mind that. So long as he can find... The key for Tommy is going to be if he can pop back out and he's got a drafting buddy. If he can stick with a drafting buddy after he pops back out after the pit stop, he'll be completely and utterly fine, and they'll have some free... They won't be fighting like these guys are. These guys are losing so much time in the corners, trying to fight and bobble over each other. And he'll have to keep an eye on the Mercedes that he's in. If the Mercedes is losing a little bit of time on the straights, drive to the pit lane early. Get it dealt with, get back in the race. But if he's maintaining pace, following these guys in the draft, sit with it, let it go for a little while longer until you can't anymore. If you're having, as soon as you start to lose that draft, that's when you pit straight away.
So I'm jumping on board here with Scotty Wilkins, and absolutely right there if he can get out and get a gap, because there's still a battle. This is 26th, 27th, 28th, but Wilkins and Boswell going at it lap after lap so far, less than 15th of a second between these two drivers. We've only got, what have we got there, 2 cars out, in fact only 1 car out of the race at this stage, and just looking, no, 3 cars out, my apologies, with Kai and Davey in the pits doing a repair as well. Just looking to see if our man Tom Corbett does come into pit lane at this stage, still out on the track. He is coming around to the... he's coming around too, and is he? Yeah, he has slowed down on the inside of the track, so he'll take that fast repair that he is able to take, and that'll get his car fixed. But it's going to be interesting to see if he can make it to the end. Hot track, hot tyres.
Where was Lance Childs running? Is Lance Childs in the top 10?
No, Lance Childs is dropping down the list. He's pulled in. I cannot tell you that.
He got a black flag.
Got a black flag, so he will be the driver that came through the chicane and did run into the fan favourite.
So yeah, that's what I was trying to pick up. Was he actually up towards the head of the field, right in the battle for the bottom end of that top 10? Because if so, that would be him. Christian Hermanson has also earned himself a black flag from the stewards.
I tell you what,
he's actually thanking race control right now for handing him the black flag, because maybe
he thought he was going to get booted. Maybe he thought he was going to get booted, given the action that they took with that incident on lap 1. I can tell you now, the chat is heaving with flavour around what's going on with our man Toby Corbett. So they've handed out the black flag there, as Scotty has said. So punishment handed. He's still in the race, and if we know anything about what he did last week, he will make his way back up the field.
Black flags were cleared from Tommy Corbett and from Christian Hermanson. I don't know why it was applied to Tommy Corbett. That's really, really odd.
No, it would have been right. It would have been automatic because he cut the chicane.
Okay, that's why. John Midgley was also handed a black flag manually by race control. So now for Tommy, I've got my eyes peeled. Where's he going to pop back out? That's the important part here.
If you can keep an eye on that battle, that would be good, as we're focused on Griffin, Bryant, Midgley and Pratt. Look at these 5 guys. One of them pulling in, deciding to get out of the heat. Obviously not Gordon Ramsay, and enjoying the kitchen that he was in the middle of there. My eye is also kept on Paul Blomqvist. I know that he can certainly steer that BMW, as he has raced in some of our other series. So currently in 7th place. Keep an eye on him for a move up the field. The other thing that I'm interested in tonight, 3 BMWs followed by 3 Ferraris. So good to see some variety based on the strengths and weaknesses of those cars around these tracks. I've got a question in the chat. Where do we reckon Mr. Corbett as a permanent commentator for the stream? Well, mate, there's not enough room. The comment box is pretty small, so we've got a social distance, and I reckon we're better off having him out on the track. We might try and get him onto one of our other streams. Maybe he can come and give me a hand on the nights that Scotty is racing, and get him involved in maybe the ANSCAR commentary. But yeah, absolutely, we could do a guest appearance. He might have to stand outside and look in through the window because, as I said, social distancing and room means there's not a lot of space for a man with such a massive following to join we mere mortals in the commentary box.
Actually, I'll tell you where Corbett's popped out. Do you know who he was fighting with last week? It was Calix Poon. He's 3 seconds down the road from him, so I'd expect that little fight to reignite itself once again. And he's actually closing a little bit at this stage, so there's a... And Poon's also fighting with Smythe. I think Smythe maybe just cut the second chicane there. So I think there's been a few other drivers that have circulated themselves through the pits.
Yeah, you're right. And that's why we just had Dave Stanford free-falling through the timing screen like he's jumped out of a plane window, but he is not. He is still in the lead of this race, a minute 57, a second 57 up the road from Zane Hills. Taylor Cockinen up into 3rd. Scotty Hasler 4th. Ian Bevan rounding out our top 5. As, believe it or not, we're 9.5 minutes into this race. It feels like it has flown.
Yep, and I tell you what, there's only 20 minutes left. When do you decide to come down pit road? Well, please no Michael Schumacher. Then come down pit road to serve your penalty on the final lap of the race, so that means absolutely nothing. I think that'll earn you a quick trip to the stewards box as well to discuss your actions and take a 15-second penalty at minimum for sure.
And did they cover that at all in the driver's briefing?
Don't know. Oh, I didn't hear anything.
Oh,
no.
Wow! Just Mitchell McLeod there, just reinserting himself back into the middle of that sandwich like a slice of cheese, and almost causing an accident there. Taylor Bryant doing very well to pull that BMW up and make sure that he didn't cause an accident there. So great driving from Bryant there to keep McLeod in the race.
So just a word on McLeod. Mitch McLeod's actually a semi-popular streamer. And I can pretty much guarantee that he'd be streaming his point of view this evening. You can actually see the Twitch logos right the way around his Audi. He was actually featured in a Good Games special. Remember the old ABC show over here in Australia? Most of the New Zealand members might not obviously be aware of that one. He was actually featured on that for being Australia's lead-ranked iRacer at the time. But that was somewhere in the realm of 7 to 10 years ago. That one of my friends was actually telling me. So I had no clue about it either until he brought it up with me. So there you go.
Yeah, and obviously the iRacing world's changed significantly over the last 7 years. D's nuts, I need to ask you about your name. Is that coined from the Melbourne-based band, or is it just because? If you can let us know in the chat. We do like random bits of information in this stream, trying to recall information about various airlines and their slogans and all that sort of stuff. So if you can, let us know. I'd be interested to hear it.
I'll tell you what,
I'm assuming, Timmerman, that you're a mate of Ian Bevan's. Otherwise, obviously, certainly appreciate you toning it down a little bit, buddy. Scotty Hasler in behind Ian Bevan there as they are battling away there. And Tom Corbett Thursdays after all. Yeah, I do like the name, Tom Corbett Thursday. I think we should copyright it, even though it's not our name, and make something of it. But good racing here throughout the pack. These drivers doing really well given the circumstances and the heat of the track and of the event itself. Thanks for the stars again, Aaron. You're just hitting us up all night.
I'm interested to see where this pit stop sort of battle starts to develop. I'm actually going to have a quick look through. I'll rattle off the drivers that have pitted. So far, drivers yet to pit are all the way back to, by the look of it,
this man here. Elliot Osborne. This man here on track is our last driver of the top not to pit.
Yep, so you're looking at Hayden Guptill, Calix Poon, Graham Smythe, Tom Corbett. So Tom Corbett is currently sitting 4th out of a list of drivers that have pitted.
And sorry, Scotty, to interrupt, but importantly as well, Graham Smythe hasn't pitted. He's in amongst all the cars that have.
Ah, that's interesting from him. He must have qualified exceptionally poorly or got involved in an early something.
He is up 9 places. He's not our highest mover. Andrew Webber currently holds that that position, 27 spots up. So, sorry to interrupt. Go for it.
So, in terms of where this means their effective positions, there's a whole host of drivers that are just transiting the lane right now. So it might be good actually to just jump down there. So we've got Hill, Sanford, Cockerton, Bevan, Cleland, Hasler, McLeod, Griffin, and Webber all transitioning the lane right now.
Yeah, I've just jumped on the exit camera here just to see as they pull out, but you're spot on. So Blomqvist now effective race leader. At the moment, with himself and Bryant not having completed their pit stops, and Sanford very much.
Someone keep an eye out. Where is it? That's not a Mercedes. There's the Mercedes. No, that's a Beamer.
I think you were talking about this man.
There it is there. Corbett just went past. So he falls in. He doesn't lose too much. He actually falls in pretty much to the back end of the new effective top 10 once those other guys who haven't pitted will shake themselves out.
It actually positions him quite well. I mean, obviously it wasn't great, but as you pointed out, look at what he's avoiding. So if we have a look at it from a different perspective, if you're looking at the track map now, you're looking at 17th spot onwards. Look at the massive gaggle of cars behind 17th spot. So he's not caught up in all of that stuff. So he's it's actually worked out reasonably well for him. Sure, would you prefer to be up the front? Absolutely, but
it could certainly be worse. But yeah, track position can be everything. I want to keep my eyes on, say, like 29. What were you talking about? 29th. Oh, first place is just pulled in, so that's Blomqvist has just dropped into the pits now. It'll be interesting to see where he pops out. There's now only 2 cars ahead of our leaders who haven't pitted, and Blomqvist was one of those. Finds himself in the lane.
Surely not taking tyres. None of these drivers should be taking tyres in this race. It's just going to be splashing, dashing, getting back out on the track. A quick repair done there to that left-hand front corner of the Blomqvist car. And he will actually bear reasonably well out of this as well. So, yes, always keeping our eye on Tommy Corbett there, mate. We will make sure that we know what's going on with that. He's currently running in 14th position. There he is there. He will battle his way through where he can. A couple of drivers in front of him doing pit lane. Scotty Hasler just coming out of the pits as well. So he is moving up back into 4th position. So we've got Sanford, Zane Hills, Cockerton and Hasler as our revised top 4 cars. Blomqvist joining in 5th position after his pit stop. Elliot Osborne, this man here, up 14 positions. He is our highest mover at this point in time, but has not made his pit stop. So we'll see where he comes out in the adjusted order. We've got Graham Smythe also still not having made his pit stop, and a handful of the drivers down towards the rear of the field as well.
Barrow, Pratt, Simmons, Ryan Wood, and Harry Edwards is our race controller.
Crucify for my sins. No, Max, we love it. We love your participation, mate.
So look, the motor race, it's shaking its early portions of what's going on, and we're just past the halfway point now. So, well, lights out. away we go on the post pit lane race situation. So Stanford in the lead by just over 2.5 seconds. Cockerton's a distant 6.5 or so seconds back off the rear end of Hills. Hasler's about another 5 seconds behind him. Who else we got there? Blomqvist and Hasler are actually battling really, really closely right now. So that might be where we can keep our eyes.
As you can see there, you called it spot on. Blomqvist looking down the inside of Hasler in that Ferrari there. So
he's got to run. If he gets this toe the entire way down the main straight, I reckon
he's going to be into turn. You're right.
Well, he's got to set him up into the Rettifilio. Will we see Blomqvist pull out to the inside? Is he fuel the car with the hopes that he'd find a drafting buddy? Has worked out for him, but the Ferrari's just got that little bit extra legs in a straight line. So maybe Blomqvist might be just biding his time, which is an interesting strategy call. Sitting behind a car up until perhaps the last lap, whilst ever you're sitting in their draft, could play into his hands.
And absolutely we can. Josh will jump on board with Taylor Cockerton now on an in-car from him. And I got your note there, Aaron, so hold 5, mate, we'll be with you. As I've just got a notification that McLeod and Smythe have come together and had an off-track as well. And doing a really good job here, Taylor Cockerton. Glad that he's joined the series. Minute 50.8 last lap, so not quite up with our fastest 2 guys, but not far behind by any stretch of the imagination. So doing a great job. Welcome to the series. We appreciate it. Yes, we will get an in-car on Tom Corbett as well, guys. Just bear with us as we give the other drivers a little bit of coverage here for those who are interested. So,
my word. Oh, who's second place? So, no, one of the leaders has actually spun at this point in time.
Yeah, Zane Hills
just picked himself up a black flag as well.
Zane
Hills is disconnected.
Yeah, he's gone. So that moves Cockerton and Hasler up into second position there, the man we were on board with. So he's now chasing down Dave Sanford, who gets a 10-second lead as a benefit of that disconnect. So Cockerton into second, Hasler third, and Paul Blomqvist, my man that I put my money on outside of the $1.10 favourite, up into fourth, 7 spots up. Good driving by him and putting some pressure on Scotty Hasler still.
I tell you what, Poon was absolutely involved in whatever happened between Smythe and McLeod. Poon has been the one that's been penalised for it as well.
Well, let's have a look back on that one then. So we've got these 2 drivers together. There's a Ferrari there with missing a bonnet, so I'm not sure what's happened there. And that's just an innocent turnaround. So no, and oh wow. That's car 23. Was that Poon? No, that was Graham Smythe, unfortunately, getting involved in that. Calix Poon has, however, had an incident of his own, crashing heading into pit lane. Really?
Surely not. He did get black flags, so that'll be...
Oh, no, he's parked it.
Yeah, he's had enough.
He's definitely parked that one there. And back onto Dave Sanford. So we're going to give you what you want. We're going to go on board. What we'll do is we'll let Tom Corbett take us for a lap around Monza, thanks to our main sponsors for this series. Back on live, and we will jump on board with Tommy Corbett there and let him take us around for a lap. Thanks to Rush Sim Racing. Unfortunately closed at the moment due to lockdown in New Zealand. So once they reopen, give that business some support as they give support to what we love. And Aaron Johnson, thank you so much for the stars, mate. We really appreciate your support. It helps us do what we do. So we'll go quiet for a minute and you can enjoy your man, Tom Corbett, take you for a lap around Monza. there it is, ladies and gentlemen. You would have seen, unfortunately, Tom Corbett there getting straight through the chicane and making the play to jump outside and let a couple of cars, unfortunately, go by him. So he has dropped down to 11th position as a consequence of a penalty to slow down because of cutting that chicane. But battling with 6 minutes to go, we're going to give you a run through of the field now. We'll jump off our main man. And, as he almost comes a cropper there. Dave Sanford out in front, 11.8 seconds in front of Taylor Cochran, doing a great job on debut in second place. Scotty Hasler in third as we speak, still being harassed by Paul Blomqvist. This is actually one of our closer battles on the track, so we'll stick with this as it could actually have a resolve on the grid over on the outcome of the race overall. We've got Hamish Cleland in 5th, Guptill in 6th, being harassed by Elliot Osborne, not too far behind him either. Ian Bevan right behind him, you can see them in the picture there, getting 8th spot. Matthew Griffin in 9th with, again, Daniel Wood right behind him. So we've got a number of battles back down through the pack here. Tommy Corbett, your guy just behind there, you can see him coming into the screen as well. So Bevan and Griffin battling away here for 8th and 9th. I do really want to focus, however, on this battle up towards the front of the pack here that we've got with Hasler and Blomqvist as well. So let's keep an eye on this as we enter basically the last 5 minutes of the race. So we've got around about 2.5 laps to go here. Fans reckon it's all part of the strategy for our man Tom Corbett. Not so sure that it's going to play out for him tonight, but we'll keep an eye on that in the background.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got to keep his head down. I mean, he's still going to walk away with just outside the top 10. Anything happens to the cars ahead of him as we just tick down past 5 minutes to go in this one. It is tight. It's close. There's battles right the way through the field. Well, if you want to join in and you have iRacing, all you got to do is join the Sim Series NZ Sim Racing. So that's NZSR. Keep your eyes out for that one. Get involved. That's always the better way to partake instead of being sitting here watching the streams, listening to us. Pick up a steering wheel, plug yourself in, go for a drive.
We do love having everyone here, though. I mean, what a fantastic field of cars. Sure. 43. I think awesome. It's equal to the largest field we have brought on our stream. So we're very... Oh, no, as Blomqvist runs wide there and gives Scotty Hasler a little bit of relief. So we'll move back in the pack here to the Matthew Griffin battle with Tom Corbett and Dale Wood, as those three are covered by a small tissue, and there's going to be some action here for sure. Tommy Corbett won't want to sit there in 11th, down 2 spots from his qualifying position of 9th, so expect him to make a challenge, potentially with it, the BMW being the... what have we decided there? Is it the car that's quicker in the corners, or is it the car that's quicker in the straight line?
I don't know. It seems a little bit all round. The Mercedes, with the long nose, seems to respond a little bit better to trail braking. It's sort of like a circuit-specific sort of thing. Blomqvist actually was just on... Blomqvist was just on the radio. What was that about? Oh, he's dropped 5 seconds off Hasler. No, he's still right there. Never mind. Okay, I'm not sure. Blomqvist was actually just on the radio just then, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Parabolica. Well, if Corbett's going to make a move, he's only got a couple laps left to do it. There's 3 minutes left in this race. It's going to equate to two to three laps. It'll depend upon the timing settings. He's got to make a move. He'll have to start looking for it anytime about now. Look at Griffin.
Well, he's going a long way around.
Well, this might open the door for Corbett. Really interesting.
He's gone long way around. A little bit of contact there as well for Corbett, and then we've ended up with a car disappearing off the track. Internet issue there causing that one, and that's resulted in a change for position. Dale Wood, unfortunately, looking like he's disconnected right at the moment where he could have done without that, so no good at all. He's dropping down the timing field rapidly there, so I'd say he's had an internet issue right at that moment.
Yeah, he'd be at the point now where we wouldn't be able to reconnect either. It'd be a...
We've got to run wide there for Griffin. So Tom Corbett moves up another spot. There he is there. Right, unfortunately, he's about 5 seconds behind this man battling with Elliot Osborne still. So Tom Corbett up into 9th.
Will he be able to do it? Look, depends how quickly Life Jason King and Caleb Curry are actually running. If they're quick enough and able to get up onto the cars, cause a little bit of chaos, maybe something might happen. But still, that's a top 10 position for Corbett. You snaffle those any day of the week. So 9th position for him, especially when he hasn't had to drive it from the back. But he always seems to find himself a little bit caught up in the on-track incidents by the sounds of things. So, and nearly a couple of laps. Be interesting to see how well he runs when he gets a clean race.
Oh, wow, Josh, with the accusations. I'm not sure we didn't say he would make the top 10. I don't remember that at all. I'll have a look back through the footage tomorrow, but I'm not sure we ever said he would not make the top 10.
I think we were both firm. He started P9, so I think we were both pretty firm that we're pretty much a shoe-in to make the 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly after his performance last week, coming back from the back of the grid. I don't remember banking on that at all, Josh, but happy to be corrected if we did. As we see a little move there. I can't believe he's still driving around without a bonnet. That car must be struggling in straight line so much that's why Ian Bevan can't get past Elliot Osborne.
Tell you what, that's a big air intake port though.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's how it was designed though, so probably not that effective. As we jump on board with Guptill and Cleland, this battle close as well. This will be our last lap of the race, I think.
Yeah, so all of a sudden it's going to come down to it, and as they're going to head around the first of the Lesmos, all of a sudden it'll be time to turn it up to 11 as they make their way up towards Ascari. So the second Lesmo now, only a couple corners left to go on the track. If Guptill's going to make the move, he's going to make it stick. Sorry, Cleland. If Cleland is going to make the move in the green and black Ferrari, he's going to have to make it soon. And I tell you what, wouldn't the Tifosi go absolutely mental to see a Ferrari make a move for top 5 on the last lap?
Absolutely. If we've got to run wide there, there'll be an off-track. And yeah, Guptill did get an off-track for that one there. And what that will mean is that Cleland gets the better run onto the back straight here. He is driving right past. Definitely going to drive right past. But you know what, though? Guptill's done a great job here. He's on the inside. He's on the right position to defend this one as we head into the last corner of the race.
The Parabolica.
Oh, no! That is definitely... Oh, and he's done a great job there, Guptill, to get back on track to try and rescue some of his race. There's going to be penalties there for sure, as a little bit of an overcommitment ending in divorce from the track.
I would put that on Guptill. Well, congratulations to David Sanford.
Yeah, absolutely. We missed the end of the race there with Sanford 15 seconds in front of the pack, but there was too much to cover. Dave Sanford, congratulations.
I'll tell you what, Tom Corbett grabbed another position there at the end of the race too.
He did. He's up to 8th. Tommy, good job, Tommy. We will get him into the chat for you guys in just a minute. But congratulations to Dave Sanford, who takes out yet another race win. That's 4 from 5 for him and improves his position at the top of the table for this series. Taylor Cochran, well done on debut, mate, to get up into 2nd spot. And Scotty Hasler, another solid performance from you in 3rd. Paul Blomqvist in 4th. Elliot Osborne 5th. Ian Bevan 6th. And Hayden Guptill 7th, with your man Tom Corbett 8th. Matthew Griffin in 9th, and Hamish Cleland rounding out our top 10. There may be some changes to that order with the post-race review of that last corner of the track. But for a minute, that is our provisional top 10. I can tell you what won't change, which is the result for those top 3 drivers. And I've got to say, 43 cars on the track. A pretty clean race overall. Well done to all of the drivers for tonight. They've done well.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's always, whenever you bring a start to Loretta Filio, there's always going to be some on-track tangles. There's no way to avoid it. To have gotten through the majority of the race with as little incidents as possible, that is a big round of applause for every single driver in the race, because there was quite a few times there where they drove side by side.
Well, Elliot Osborne, none, on my indication. 0 incident points for the race, and the only driver to do that. So congratulations to him, if our reporting monitor is correct.
We're about to see a Sanford celebration in style here on the outside of the Parabolica. He'll turn the traction control off, light the...
Oh.
Damn.
Just not playing tonight, so... that is fine and dandy. So what we'll do now is if we can organise to grab our top 3 drivers into the combox. Scotty, if you want to duck away and grab them, and also maybe have a quick chat with Tommy Corbett and see if we can actually get him on for a proper interview this week after what happened last week. I am going to quickly run through our sponsors for this evening. The guys out at Rush closed at the moment due to COVID restrictions in New Zealand, so our support goes out to them if and when they get reopened once those restrictions are released. Do jump down there if you're looking to get involved in sim racing. You can jump on to a sim, even if you've got a bunch of mates that want to get involved or you all want to go down and have a fun afternoon, head down there, jump on some sim rigs and have a run. They've got full motion platforms as well, and definitely the place to go down and get some time in a sim if you want to learn how to do this and get involved. Obviously, our partners as well, AFTERSHOCK PC, thank you very much for your support for our stream. We appreciate it. Simrigs.com and Virtual Motorsport Mentor, along with we are a Razer streaming partner. We appreciate all of their support. And last but not least, thanks to NZ Sim Racing for allowing us to bring this one to you. So a action-packed race there. To be brutally honest, a blur the last 30 minutes in terms of what actually went on with lots of action on the track. But Dave Sanford certainly asserting his authority on this series now with his 4th out of 5 race wins, doing a great job to extend his lead at the top of the table there.
Yeah, I really mucked up qualifying and I was pretty mad at myself. I probably dropped like 4/10. Sorry, I just got to turn my game down. I probably dropped about 4/10 in qualifying, so I was really mad. I knew that I had pace over Zane, so as you saw, I just went hammer and fist at him. And he's a good driver. All respect to Zane, he's come a long way from when he first started not so long ago. So he gave it to me pretty good. He defended really clean, and I had fun. Like having that kind of stuff in a series like this is really cool. So I enjoyed the battles.
Yeah, and you also took out fastest lap of the race, so congratulations for that as well. Managing to avoid all the carnage. We did think that you were going to try and cut and run at the start there with, I think, our biggest field to date, 43 cars on track. There was always going to be some carnage, particularly in those early chicanes. So a solid drive and certainly consolidating your race lead.
Yeah, I had no idea what was going to happen because traditionally in the series so far, Zane has come out pretty handy after the pit stop, whether or not he underfuels and goes for that fuel save. So I was saying in Discord, I didn't know what he was going to do in the pit stop, so I was scared I underfueled, but I actually ended up having a lap and a half too much. So I could have taken probably about 6 less liters and still got home. But I don't know, my old program stuffed me up, and it actually had me 5 liters more than I already took, and then I could have taken another, 5 or 6 less. So, oh look, like you enjoy stuff like that. Like I had no idea what to do when I was behind him when I realized, on the grid, and I just went at him, and it all folded out.
Is there ever a strategy call to say get out of the draft when you're in behind him, just to see if you can outpace him when you get that fresh air? Was there ever sort of do I undercut, do I overcut sort of situation? Did you want to go? Were you looking to pick an alternative time to pit, or were you aiming to pit at the same time as him the whole race?
If you're the leader, you don't undercut ever, or try and get in first. Like if he was on my tail, he fuel saves, so I probably would have gone in a lap early, maybe like 2 laps before I did. But because I knew that I was a lot quicker than him through sector 2, 3, 4. Like when I was attacking him, he had nothing through there, and that's where I was getting all my pace from. So I just had to drop him and figure it out, and then yeah, there's no time to fuel save when you're in the lead. So I just went as long as I could, because if you come out behind them, then you're in trouble, So
Yeah, you definitely want to try and maintain that lead where you can. Taylor Cockinen, welcome. And what an introduction you have brought as well. How was your race?
Are you talking TC? TC's Tommy Corbett.
Oh, did we not get
No, unfortunately, we didn't. We didn't get the other guys. It was only Tommy and David that are actually sitting in Discord. So
Ah, no, my apologies there. I actually did know that was Tommy, but I thought that we had been joined by him as well. So, look, a good entry for him into the series, and done well to run second there in this race. Scotty Hasley, you're joining us as well.
Yeah, hey fellas.
So how did you find it, mate? You were outside the top 3 for a little while there, and then managed to jump back in as a result of the pit stops, if memory serves me correctly. So a good result for you.
Yeah, no, really stoked with that result. It was kind of a race of attrition there, and just kept out of trouble as much as I could, and kind of just kept picking up positions. Obviously, there were quite a few guys in front that probably had the pace on me. We're a bit unlucky with some crazy incidents there. But yeah, it's felt it's probably about time one fell into place for me. So yeah, really happy to finally be here.
congratulations, mate. There was a bit of a battle there in the dying stages of that one with Paul Blomqvist. It looked like Blomqvist coming through the Lesmos ran wide a couple times there and was just losing a little bit of grip at the front end of the car. But you guys had a phenomenal fight for the last step on the podium.
Yeah, I think he was a bit short on fuel, so he sort of kept getting a run on me and then backing out down the straight just to make sure he made it to the end. Otherwise, I think he probably would have got me there. But yeah, no, we had a really cool battle there. It was good fun.
Oh, good to hear, mate. And turning to our final interview for the evening, I don't think we'll ever be able to do another race of the NZSR ever again without hearing the name Tom Corbett mentioned a million times. Tommy, another $1.10 favourite to finish in the top 10, and another $1.10 achieved, finishing deep in the top 10, buddy.
Yeah, massive shout out to all the boys for the support. It was a bit of a tricky race. I thought I had pace for at least a podium given all the people that got taken out, but I ended up getting taken out myself, which was a shame. But another good fight back, same as last week.
So what's going to happen when you finally get through a first lap without an incident?
Well, yeah, I think I can crack a podium, at least a top 5 for sure. But I think I need a bit of luck at the moment.
It's all down to qualifying as well, Tommy. It unfortunately has affected you a little bit starting in that mid-pack, and as you said there, unfortunately just on the back end of a little bit of out-braking into the chicane, and you're just an innocent bystander in that one. But definitely a great result to move back up into our top 10 there. So a good drive, and the people's champion as they keep rejoicing. So you'll have to get up into that top 3 and start to challenge for some wins.
Yeah, I better get some performances in, or the boys will move on to someone else.
I hear the Dave Sanford club's actually recruiting.
I was going to say there was a little bit of dissension in the ranks. They were calling for heads, but I think Race Control did a fantastic job tonight, given the number of cars on the track here to only really do what they needed to do to make sure that things kept going the way they did. So a little bit of bad luck, mate, but unfortunately, or fortunately, I should say, bad luck generally tends to shift itself. So hopefully next week you can get yourself a little bit better and further up the field to make sure that you can avoid some of that early race issues.
Thanks, guys.
Can I throw a bit of advice Tommy's way? When you come to Monza, mate, you got to go with the Tifosi and bring the Ferrari. I think that was the biggest mistake.
Yeah, what's the question there, mate? Did you jump into the wrong car, or?
No. So it's a fixed car this series. You can't change cars. You could only change cars for the endurance race.
So
if I could change cars, I would be a different car every round.
Yeah, well, that's what we're conjecturing. We're sort of saying, oh, maybe it's the first series we've seen where you can do that. Where you might be able to jump cars, but that makes sense. So just in the enduro round, so back into the Mercedes for this one. And you know what? The Mercedes is pretty strong at Spa, where we're headed to next week.
Yep.
So it's going to be a good battle there between the Merc and the BMW. So looking forward to that. And of course, our final round of the series at one of my very favourite tracks, Road America 2, where the Mercedes is pretty strong. So you're in a good spot.
For sure. Yeah, that was the thinking and the decision. Sometimes you got to lose a couple rounds, but then I'll gain it back at the end, I think.
And Dave Sanford, just to grab you while you are still in the booth, mate, I think you're almost away. You're almost invincible at this point in time. So good result for you. Yeah, good result for you at Spa, and you'll wrap this one up.
Yeah,
So-
hopefully the BMW is really quick at Spa too. If you watch the 24-hour of Spa this year, I think 8 of the top 10 cars with the BMW. So,
Yes.
and I know we did it in the Beamer and we got 9th. So it's it'll be interesting, I think.
I was just going to say, who's your ISP and how much does it take to bribe them to knock your internet connection out on a Thursday?
Trustpower.co.nz, or you can call them. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, just call my mum. I just moved back home. Thanks, mum and dad. Just trying to, I broke up with my girlfriend. So anyway, so I just moved back home. So
time
just
for
call
sim
my
racing.
mum.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I mean, break up with the girlfriend, you start dating iRacing, right?
That was the idea. Yeah.
Concentrate on the championship, mate. Jamie Wincup did it, so
This is right.
Stuart and I are both married and sitting here going, maybe, hang on.
Yeah. I just call my mum, tell her to cut the internet cord, and someone else can get a win.
no, we love having you involved in the series, David. Another great drive for you tonight. And as we said, we are headed to Spa next week. One of my other favourite, they're all my favourite circuits, let's be honest. But Spa, a fantastic circuit for this type of racing too. So looking forward to next weekend, where we do go back to our Super GT Thursday format. So we are going to bring you a slightly different race format for the NZSR series, where we do have a reverse grid second race. And then we'll head straight into...
Where is that?
At Spa.
Okay.
So you got a mixture of races next week, and then the final round
Yeah.
at Road America.
Okay.
And then we do head straight into our AEE series on the back of this broadcast, where we're looking to see how many GTEs turn up at that one, with a whopping, I think, 33 cars last week when we ran that race. So certainly plenty of GT racing coming your way. Tomorrow night, as usual on a Friday night, we have our IndyCar series with the Pro Mazdas, followed by the Dellaras at Belle Isle for their races. A 30-minute sprint race for the Pro Mazda, followed by an hour 45 for the Dellaras around another one of my favourite circuits, you would have guessed it. So plenty to come. Scotty,
Stuart, do you ever have a non-favorite track? Is it just racing everywhere is your favorite track?
well, look, to be brutally honest, I mean, in terms of the series that we run, I pick the track, so there's no surprise that I enjoy where we're racing. But, I just love Spa. For me, is just one of those tracks where, particularly when you get it right, it's a really rewarding place to run. And
you can get it wrong in Sector 1 and you still feel good about Sector 2 as well. It's one of those sorts of tracks.
Absolutely. And it's got strengths and weaknesses for every car. So I really like circuits that reward good, aggressive, consistent driving, but also don't favour flat-out horsepower, flat-out top speed, or favour too much aerodynamic result for the car. So if it's got that section where, the cars that have got more aero get a better result, and then there's the other section where the cars with more horsepower can catch up, then they're the best tracks to race at, definitely the best tracks to commentate at as well. So
Well, I was just going to say that Spa is actually one of those really, really good circuits that if you want to be aggressive, it's quick and it can work for you. But if you want to fuel save and you want to tire save, that works really well as well. That's the best part of it. Very quickly in the first 5 laps, you can see who's doing what. And you can also see it work and then fail, or fail and then work. It's awesome. I agree with you. I think Spa is phenomenal.
yeah, so just looking forward to that. And Belle Isle in the Indies is a fantastic track. Obviously, that's what it's for. That's what they run there, and it's a really fun track, even in the Pro Mazda to do some racing at. So looking forward to tomorrow night as well.
Yep, short, sharp, bumpy, as the best aspects of a street circuit are, and hard to get the car to turn in. A little bit easier when you got a little bit more downforce on the front end of the car. I haven't had the joy of running the higher downforce packages around the Belle Isle circuit, but I'll see if there's a little bit of time penciled into my notebook for tomorrow night, I think.
All right, good. I hope you join us there. I'm looking forward to commentating that one. We're going to try Combox Cam as well tomorrow night, so do join us if you want to see my ugly mug on the screen as we continue to try and develop the stream here for all of you. So thank you very much. One of the things I definitely enjoy about tonight is the participation from our audience. I know it's all about one man, but it definitely keeps us going and gives us that pump along to get through what is normally a really long GT Super Thursday. So appreciate all of you tuning in. Aaron Johnson, thank you very much. You get a special shout out for all the stars you dropped into our Facebook stream tonight. We really appreciate the support. Hope you guys love what we're doing outside of the Tommy Corbett experience, and we will continue to work to bring you that that package of highlights during the week. As I said, tomorrow night we are live on FGM ECast from 7 p.m. Bringing you the Pro Mazda series, followed by the Dallara series at the fantastic circuit that we are there for tomorrow night. So we will see you then. What's on for you? So, Scotty, you're going to try and drop in tomorrow night and then off to the weekend, mate?
Thank you kindly. Yeah, no, the only thing I was going to say is I'm actually getting up at 4 in the morning to go race NASCARs, so...
Where are you headed for that?
Just sitting here at home. NASCARs are at Dover this week, so I'm enjoying the track after the 87s the other night and decided let's do something crazy.
Yeah, well, I knew you wouldn't be headed to Dover, so I'm glad you're iRacing from home and not actually trying to fly over there, because you wouldn't make it in time. But no, that's good. We'll enjoy your race, and hopefully we see you on the stream tomorrow night at the Indy Pro and Dallara series that we're running for the ANZ Down Under series. So thank you again to everyone that joined us. That's about us done for this evening. I am probably going to jump on some Assetto Corsa a little later on, as I actually jump into that game for the first time. We are expecting a package in the mail with some PlayStation stuff tomorrow, looking to bring you some Pro Tour PGA 2K21 action, which I've heard has got a little bit of Happy Gilmore stuff inside it. So looking forward to that one. Plenty to come on FGM ECast, your place for pace. I'm Stuart. That is Scotty Rankin, and we are done for this evening, and we appreciate your company. We will see you hopefully tomorrow night.